Hello everyone. In today's video, I'm going to cover a question that I get posed a lot in the coin shop, whether it be in person or on the phone. People asking quite often, many times a week, how much cash should I put into gold and silver, or do you think it's better just to keep it in the bank? A lot of people call, tell me they have extra disposable cash that they want to put into investments, and they're not sure how to go about it. They don't know if silver is the right answer, or gold, or a combination of both. Some aren't even sure that they want to get rid of their cash. They might want to keep it in the bank. So I'm going to cover that today, give my opinion and take on it. So if you've ever wondered how you should go about investing in precious metals, stick with me. I'll cover a lot in this video today. Thanks for sticking with me, everyone. As promised in the intro, in today's video, I'm going to talk about gold, silver, and cash. You know, there is no one stock answer that's going to be right for everyone as far as how much they should invest, what percentage of their investable wealth should they invest in metals. I think a good percentage is in the 10 to 20% range. I think a lot of experts could agree with that. As far as putting 10 to 20% of your investment income into metals, but it's going to be different for everybody. There's people that have huge distrust in banks, would rather not own land or electronic paper contracts of stocks or whatever, and they'd rather have the physical. Honestly, I kind of fall into that camp too, although I am diversified, and I encourage everybody to be diversified. But I do get the question a lot, and for today's example, I'm going to talk about what you can do with an extra $20,000. Now, not everybody has an extra $20,000 lying around, but in today's world, if I did this video 5 years ago, I probably would have said $10,000, but 20,000 can buy about the same that 10 could back then. But anyway, we're going to use a $20,000 example, and I'm going to show you visually what $20,000 cash can buy in gold and silver. And if people want a recommendation, it's going to be based on a lot of things, so I'll talk about that in the video. So first off, if you have $20,000 cash extra, good for you, that's great. As many of you know, interest rates in banks aren't very attractive right now, although they are getting better. Yield curves on a lot of things are inverted, meaning you're getting paid a higher percentage to leave your money in a CD on the short term. If you keep it in there longer, you're going to get less money. So it's kind of bonkers right now, but anyway, there are opportunities to make 5% on your money in maybe a 6-month CD. So if you're very conservative and you're not sure what to do with cash sitting in an account, maybe that's a good idea. Talk to your bank, talk to your financial advisor about that. One question I get a lot from people is, why should I buy precious metal? Well, my dad, whenever he's in the shop and someone asks, I let him answer it. His answer always is, if you trust your government, you don't need to buy precious metal. If you don't trust your government, you should buy precious metal. So, where do you fall in that camp? Do you trust that the government's going to solve all of our problems and take good care of us? I, for one, don't. So, I'm trying to take care of myself by diversifying into metal. So, as I said, for the sake of this example, I'm going to show on trays what $20,000 can buy today. And all I have to do for the gold is just move off this silver. This is $20,000 in gold, okay? I should clarify, and I'll put it on the screen here. Today is July 24th, 2023. Gold spot price is currently $1,960. For the sake of this example, I just used American Gold Eagles. There's other ways to buy gold. Gold bars are a little cheaper, gold maple leafs are a little cheaper, but I had enough eagles to showcase the example, so that's what we're going with. But based on today's spot price, your $20,000 can buy, let me spread it out here, 9.7 ounces of gold. So we got 9 American Gold Eagles, 1 ounce. We have a 1/2 ounce Gold Eagle, and we have 2 10th ounce Gold Eagles. So For $20,000 today, you can go home with 9.7 ounces of gold. The nice thing about buying gold is it takes up hardly any space. You could walk out of the shop with this in your pocket and nobody would know. You wouldn't have to tighten your belt or get suspenders to hold your pants up because it sure doesn't weigh very much. And the nice thing about gold in terms of storage, it takes up a whole lot less space compared to comparable dollar amounts of silver. So, something to consider. For one, I'm buying silver right now, and I'll get to that in the next example. But over time, historically, gold has always typically been a good investment. Gold tends to break out quicker in times of crisis where silver follows, and silver oftentimes overtakes gold in terms of increase in value. So I, for one, believe silver is undervalued at the moment compared to gold. So if I had $20,000 cash burning a hole in my pocket, I would not let the bank keep it, even though they're going to maybe pay me 5% on my money if I leave it there for 6 months. I'm not going to buy gold right now either. I'm going to buy silver. I'll show you what $20,000 in silver looks like. Now this is just part of it. So here's a little over, I got to think here, yeah, a little over $7,000 worth of silver. So $20,000 in gold would buy you today 740 ounces of silver, based on a silver spot price of $24.50 per ounce. Granted, I said it's July 24th, 2023. Now that is in a current climate where premiums are pretty low on silver compared to where they were several months ago. So silver is a much better buy in terms of what you're paying over spot today. So if you were to invest in silver today, you're truly going to see a cost savings in terms of what you're paying percentage-wise over spot. So now, as I said, this is 240-ish ounces, give or take. In order to get the rest, you would need to buy this, which it doesn't even fit on screen here, but this is a monster box of 500 1 ounce, I believe they're buffaloes, we'll see, 1 ounce silver buffaloes. So the nice thing about investing in silver, although it does take up much more space, this is going to weigh a little bit over 40 pounds for all this silver here, where gold you literally had 9.7 ounces. So big difference. But yeah, here's the 1 ounce silver buffaloes. Very common coin. Most refineries that produce privately minted silver bullion produce a version of this buffalo coin. This is a generic buffalo round. Very common, very sought after. I try to get variety other than buffaloes because I like a little variety in the shop, and if you've watched my unboxing videos, you'll understand that. But buffalo is a very popular one, very recognizable, very common design. So, like I said, if we're spending $20,000 in cash on precious metal today, we're buying 500 ounces in rounds, plus another 240 ounces. Now in this example I did a 100-ounce bar. That's a good way to go. Had some larger size bars too. Got a 25-ounce bar here. Got a kilo. This is a kilogram, which is 32.15 ounces of silver. This one's from Australia. Nice piece. Then I got some smaller sizes. Got some 10-ounce buttons from Bullion, 10-ounce bar from Bullion, some 5-ounce bars. I also, for this example, grabbed some 2-ounce pieces. These are the Lion of England. These are British. And then some 1-ounce bars as well. So for my $20,000 investment, I would much rather put it into silver today. And maybe I'll put one of these here too, just to remind you that this pile includes 25 of these. They just won't all fit in the camera. So, but something you really need to consider. You know, I, for one, and I've done videos on this before, and I'll post some links in the description, but silver, to me, right now is a much better buy. One thing I pay attention to is the gold to silver ratio. And what that is essentially, it's just spot price of gold divided by spot price of silver. And right now it's hovering I should have did this math ahead of time and I didn't, but it's hovering around 78 to 79 to 1, meaning it takes 79 ounces. This is 25, 50, 60, 70, almost this much, okay, silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. So if you put it that way visually, now this is heavy. I mean, this weighs, you know, probably about 5.5 pounds. This is 1 troy ounce. So this is the same value right here. So to me, it takes this much silver to buy this much gold. I think that's out of whack. And if you look at history, it's oftentimes, at certain points in history, only taken about 16 ounces to buy 1 ounce of gold. Now, I don't think we'll ever get to that ratio again, but that ratio has been there, and I've done a video on that as well, so I'll post that. If you haven't seen that, it's a pretty informative video, so if you're ready to learn, be sure to check that out. But I don't think that ratio is ever going to get to that point again, but I think it's going to drop, meaning it's going to take less ounces of silver to buy your ounce of gold. So I personally am staying away from gold at the moment. I'm not saying that's right for you. If you're just going to buy it and hold it forever, it's a generational wealth type thing, heck, go ahead and buy gold, because it's always been money. It's always been a store of value. It's easy to store because of the amount of space it takes up. One of the downsides that I haven't touched on gold is, you know, this is over $2,000 for one coin, for one piece, based on today's prices. So if you do need to liquidate and convert it into fiat currency, you're going to have to sell a high dollar amount, rather than if you had your $20,000 invested in silver, you could sell a 1 ounce buffalo round, you know, for $25, or 4 of them for $100 or whatever. So silver in comparison to gold is already fractional in terms of value. And as I said, it takes about 78-ish ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold today. So that's something to consider too. I do have many customers that aren't quite sure the direction they want to go, so they get a mix of both. And I think that's a fine idea, because you're going to have, you know, you could invest half of it, which essentially this is close to $11,000 in silver, or I'm sorry, in gold, and you can invest the other half into silver. You'll have less weight, it's less cumbersome, storage would be a little easier, and quite honestly, now you can start watching the markets. So you have your approximately $10,000 in gold. You have, with these, here's about $10,000 in silver. Same dollar amount, much different amount of storage required, but you can start watching the markets now. And I've talked to my viewers in videos before about watching the ratios. So for me right now, it's a time to buy silver because the ratios are quite high. So I think silver is undervalued in relation to gold. It could get even higher. So right now it's 78 to 1. I'm going to keep buying silver. Well, pretty soon it starts shrinking, 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 and goes to 60 to 1. Well, now what am I going to do? I'm going to convert 1, 2, 3 tubes of buffaloes, which is 60 ounces of silver. I'm going to convert that and buy another ounce of gold, where before it would have cost me 4 tubes of silver or 80 ounces to buy 1 ounce of gold. So it pays to pay attention to the ratios of gold to silver, because there are opportunities where you can maximize and you can swap between metals. That's been my stacking strategy, I guess, for lack of a better word, for as long as I can remember. I watch the ratios. In my mind, I have ratio numbers where it's the time to buy silver, and I have ratio numbers where it's the time to buy gold. I'm not saying there's ever a bad time to buy either one, but that's just me. So, having said that, hope you learned something today. For all you viewers out there, gold does take up a whole lot less space. As I said, you have 20 grand on this tray sitting right here. You can walk out with it in your pocket. The nice thing about gold too, having your investment wealth in gold, if you ever have to leave, you know, your home or wherever, or you have to move and you have to do it quickly, Boy, sure is a lot easier just to grab your little satchel full of gold and run out of the house. If you have the same dollar amount in silver, you're going to have 80 times more weight. Remember, we got 25 of these too that you got to lug out. So there's pros and cons for sure. So, but having said that, I'm a big believer in silver personally at the moment because of the ratios. I think silver is still well undervalued in relationship to gold. So that's where I'm putting my money. So if you folks want to leave it down in the comments, what are you most comfortable putting your investment income into? Granted, it doesn't need to be $20,000. It can be $20. It can be $200. Are you buying silver today? Are you buying gold? Or are you keeping your cash in the bank because you like the interest rates you're getting? Leave it down in the comments. I'm curious to know. I know all stackers truly have different strategies, different investment timeline horizons. So it's just kind of interesting to get a feel with where everybody stands on that, because I have a feeling not everyone's going to agree with me, and that's fine. But as I said, if I had the choice, I'm buying this all day long right now. But thank you for tuning in. I appreciate the support. Be sure to drop a comment. Please share this video. Give it a like. It really helps us get exposure in the YouTube algorithm, which will help get our educational content out to more people. And the more people that have the knowledge in regards to precious metals, I truly believe the better off we will all be. I appreciate you tuning in. If you're not already subscribed, there's the info right there. And thank you all so much. As I always say, the stacking community is the best group of people. I get a lot of comments, calls, emails from people that watch my videos, and I truly do appreciate the feedback and support that you all give. So with that, I'll let you all go. Thanks for sticking with me. I appreciate it. You all have a great day.